It's what makes human beings hilarious. I'm one of the biggest hypocrites you're ever gonna fucking meet in your life. And I love hypocrites. I love weird rules.
Oh my God! I told him that photo would come back to haunt him.
A friend sent to me recently that humans have an extraordinary ability to create exceptions for themselves. And I feel like that quote resonates with what's going on with Bill Burr and this Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival. And it also makes me wonder, what would Patrice O'Neal say about it all?
Get yourself a fucking stenographer, Bill. Go get one.
Going to perform is one thing, but to be an outspoken advocate against situations exactly like this, only to then do the exact same thing you once hated people for, is something that is the definition of a true hypocrite.
Bill Burr, ladies and gentlemen. Bill.
Hey, how are you? How's it going?
It's going okay for me. How's it going with you?
Oh, it's been a great week. It's been fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You've been in the news.
Yeah. I think the general consensus is how dare you go to that place and make those oppressed people laugh, you fucking piece of shit. I can't believe you went to that place I can't find on a map. And this bot said I was upset about it, so now I am.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
As someone who knows of the history behind Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neal, who were close friends and up-and-coming comedians during their times, I truly would have loved to see what Patrice O'Neal would have said about Bill Burr in this situation. Because, boy, oh boy, I feel like there would have been an absolute ripping. But alas, we no longer have him, so I'll have to unpack this a bit more instead. Because I think the most conflicting thing for some is the question of, at what point is it okay for you to go out and get your bag? As in, are you justified no matter what in accepting an enormous sum of money, even if it goes against or comes at the cost of your character, beliefs, and principles? This is an age-old question, and in reality, the most noble of answers is simply outright no, because at what cost is the price of your soul? The more nuanced details around this is that, well, it's just a comedy festival. Being a comedian is by no means the most stable of positions job-wise, and can you not be somehow justified for trying to help bridge the gap or help in some way by performing in a place known for its history and culture of oppression in so many different forms? Personally, I get it. I get the temptation, because at the end of the day, it really is just jokes. And with comedy especially, you're always trying to make someone laugh, which in turn is just about making people happy. That's all it really is. At the same time, the price to me is still just too high, and it should always remain just a temptation. But I think what bothers people the most, and what's a bigger issue, is that it's one thing to just go and perform, but to actually be hypocritical in calling out others who did this before you, only for you to do the same thing, is the most frustrating thing being a fan of Bill Burr.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make, you know? You're going to take a gig where you're going to go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids? And then you take that fucking blood money and what he's done. You couldn't remember that he claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans? The fuck is wrong with you?
Now, personally, I don't mind that greatly because, well, it's just his life, and him performing literally doesn't change my own life. Have I lost some sense of respect for him? Sure, maybe. But I guess I also feel like I can still enjoy parts of his comedy without necessarily agreeing with everything that he does in his entire life. I can sort of separate the art from the artist. Don't get me wrong. It's great and even joyous when I do watch a Bill Burr comedy bit that I absolutely find hilarious, and it's something that I can see he also genuinely agrees with and that I agree with it too. And sure, it would be great if he hadn't changed his tune on it, but what the hell. At least he said it, and the principle of what he once spoke of still stands, regardless if he acts differently to what he says. But if you can't separate the artist, if you feel like the loss of respect is too great, I can also see that side too. Because what's truly strangely puzzling is that for someone like like Bill Burr, who in my eyes is possibly one of the few nearest to someone like Dave Chappelle in terms of status and wealth, is that there's absolutely no reason for him whatsoever to even go to such a comedy festival. At what point does having an enormous sum of money already then qualify or mean that you should continue forth to get another enormous sum of money? Perhaps this is just me complaining, why do the rich need to get richer? But it's more of a statement of just feeling like, as a comedian, Bill Burr's platform is so set in stone that he just, or perhaps should feel so blessed and content to be able to just ride that for the rest of his life. There's no need to ask for more, let alone even attempt something that would risk or jeopardize everything entirely. But what also is more so bothersome for me is not that someone can in fact be hypocritical in the first place, because let's face it, anyone can be, and in reality, we've all been there. We've all done something where we realize, crap, I'm actually now going against what I used to preach. But what bothers me is when people don't acknowledge this, somehow or in some manner. They just need to notice it. They just need to say it out loud.
Bitch better have my money.
Can I apologize to everybody now?
Yes, Patrice.
Oh, the apology.
We need an apology.
What's this
I just want to apologize, man. I just doing this pilot, Comedy Central pilot. I've never been at the level of my own vision coming to fruition. Where I was at the top of the food chain,
Right.
and had to do things that I never had to do before. The word difficult. The word difficult in this business doesn't necessarily mean you have to be difficult. It's just anything that isn't pleasant is difficult. And I'd like to apologize to Chris Rock for thinking he was a dick by telling me that I was... I learned by being in charge of every process, the casting, dealing with production, and everything else, that any kind of asshole behavior, no matter what the degree, aloofness, you're a dick.
I don't care if you don't want to change, but just admit it. At least clarify to me somehow that you're accepting one kind of an all-encompassing philosophy, that you're having one side to it. You're not trying to have your cake and eat it too. And like I said, you can change or not change. And I'm talking about having an opinion or a philosophy or even how you viewed your action, because that depends on how you want to move forward in life. Do you either reject and feel ashamed of your current action based on past principles and express remorse? Or do you acknowledge that somehow you were just straight up, plain and simple, wrong for how you initially thought, and accept that now this is the new you? Doing neither, to me, having your cake and eat it too, is the worst option out of anything. It's where you become a hypocrite. Because you need to either reject what you're currently doing and express remorse based on how you viewed something before, where you thought you were right, or you acknowledge that maybe you weren't right initially, and that now you have a new opinion and have adopted a new set of philosophy and principles moving forward. But you cannot be the same person at the same time. You cannot hold on to the past and accept this new version of you. And I get it. It's so tough. Changing your tune and admitting defeat is inherently something hard to do, especially if it comes at the cost where you have to label yourself as a hypocrite, because it cannot just be scary. It can be identity destroying.
I've tasted little parts of what success is. I've tasted it. It's good. It's deliciously. you get drunk off of it. But you know, Tracy, I don't know how much money he got, but he should be happy with the money he's got. He should.
What I'm getting from you though is it's not a fear. That's too easy to say of success. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you can fall hard and hurt yourself. And you owe.
And The Godfather, luckily, what he owed was fix my son up. He got shot. And you go, ooh. But when you hear the knock on your door and he goes, I need you to do me a favor. You're gonna be at the dinner with the president, aren't you? Yeah. Or you're gonna be at a dinner with somebody I want dead.
Right.
I want you to put this pill in his drink.
Oof.
I don't.
Well, see.
Well, what you owe is we're gonna kill your whole family. I told you, I want my favor.
changing your entire belief system and everything you thought of you as a person is a very, very tough thing. And it's definitely easier said than done. But the best kind of people do this. The ones that have the most respected of characters know how to admit they were wrong, and they do so gracefully, apologize, and move forward purposefully with a new sense of respect for who they are now as a person.
I want to mentor others to not do what I did.
Are you saying
it's not worth it?
It's too late for you?
I've burnt my bridge. Right now I got gasoline feet, and any bridge I got is toilet paper. When I was younger, I'd burn a bridge and go, I'll swim across this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'll build a boat, nigga. No bridge can stop me. But
they do.
Now you get tired, but
Even the great Patrice O'Neal, who was famously known for not wanting to sell out or to change his character for anybody, spoke about how he later finally realized that despite his best intentions to remain true to himself, admittedly, he knew he was a difficult person to work with. Whether that meant he may have changed his working persona or not, I'm not sure. And as much as I hoped he would not have, that's beside the point. Not only did Patrice not sell out like Bill Burr has now seemingly done so, he perhaps more importantly was a big enough man to admit that he was wrong, and to admit when he had done so, that he had seen the error in his previous ways, and that he finally understood what it was like from someone else's point of view. He finally understood that admitting to others, and more importantly to himself, that he was okay with being proven wrong, and that he was allowed to see things differently, even if it came at the cost of what his identity was beforehand. That, to me, is the difference between having greatness as a talent and having greatness as a character. That, to me, is why Patrice O'Neal was so iconic and so legendary, and why I worry that Bill Burr has now done the opposite for his own career.
Exact word for word. Bill, shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. I get 30 fucking emails, and I got 10 guys coming up to me. I mean, they all heard it the wrong fucking way.
What the fuck did they say I said?
Oh, you know what? They didn't have a fucking stenographer there to read it exactly back. But
So, really,
whatever vibe you put up, that's
all
I'm
fucking
saying.
courtrooms have a stenographer, Billy, or it ain't court. So if you put me on trial for those fucking fans that turned on you for their own reasons, get yourself a fucking stenographer, Bill. Go get one.
Patrice, whatever, dude, whatever vibe you put out there, all I'm saying is I'm responding to that shit.
All right, the vibe. All right, well, Billy, I'm sorry for the vibe I put out there, dude.
Dude, and I'm sorry you didn't want to do that fucking
I apologize.
And then blamed it on me.
I apologize for the vibe. I apologize for you getting swept up in the shit. I'm going to tell you now, on the air, that energy was towards Mankind, what he did. It wasn't towards you, Billy. So I apologize. I hope some of these fans who heard it and heard me put out a fucking vibe accept the apology.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.